Hey, this is Anney.
And Samantha.
And welcome to Stuff I've Never Told You, a production of iHeartRadio.
And welcome to another edition of me making Anney watch Sex and the City for the first time.
Yes.
And just me reliving my late 20s, because I was watching this the whole time thinking, I want this life. I do not. Now that I've grown older, I realized I do not want that life. But yes, we are watching Sex and the City. We are in our season 3 of Sex and the City, slowly going through it. I have told Anney before, and in the previous episodes, I have said this is probably one of the better seasons, one of the most climactic seasons where things really start rolling. However, it's also a really problematic season. So just put that as a caveat. Of course, if you are listening with children, you may want to step out because we are going to discuss a lot of adult themes because, Sex and the City, I feel like that's self-explanatory. Just, whatever. But yes, in this segment, I do make Anney watch for the first time. We have a reaction and discussion about the episode, about what, kind of does stand the test of time, meaning, this still is valid and versus this is real problematic. Let's talk about it and let's talk about why. We get real and honest and just have a good time. Am I right?
Yes, I think you are.
And like last season, we want to have you, a listener, come and watch with us. You don't have to have seen any of them. That is not a criteria here. All we ask is that you do have access to a computer, to the internet, and headphones.
Yes.
Yes, right? So if you're interested in watching with us, just having a discussion about whatever episodes that we are going to watch with you, please email us or send us a DM and let us know you're interested. I've gotten a few in the DMs. Some have slid into my DMs, Anney, as we like to say.
Oh my. Samantha had to teach me all about that. Yes. You don't have to have seen it before. It's really fun. It's very low key. If you've seen it a million times, that's also great. If you entered last time and did not get in, please enter again.
Yes.
Because if you've changed your mind, we don't want to just put your name in the ring. But yeah, we have gotten people who have contacted us already. So thank you for that. It's going to be really fun. Yes. So please.
Let us know.
Yeah, let us know if you're interested.
Come be our friends. Because this is a happy hour. Anney, are you sipping on anything?
I am. Samantha knows I'm very tired. I just got back from a beach trip.
Emotional beach trip.
So I'm sipping on some leftover beer, but my friend made me this koozie, which is Pride koozie.
Love it.
So I'm like, the dregs of the vacation you're holding on to. That's what I'm going for right now.
Oh, okay. Well, I am drinking some sparkling water. It is blackberry mango flavor. I'm loving it. I feel fancy. I don't, but I kind of do. And with that, if you are drinking or partaking of anything, just, be responsible. All the good things. All right. So, as per usual, Anney, before we begin, can you give us a recap of season 3 thus far?
Okay. So I feel like the big revelation the last episode was we met Aiden, who, if you know anything about Sex and the City, this is a big love interest for Carrie. It's like your team Aiden or team Big, Mr. Big. I'm sure there's someone else and I'll find out about it. But those are like the big two. So we've met him. He was kind of not into her smoking. So she decided to give up smoking to keep dating him. We'll see how that goes. But she's very much in flux in terms of what she wants in a relationship, which I feel is pretty much the case with most of them. Miranda has this thing with Steve that seems really great, but they had a good compromising discussion, I'll say, recently. But they're still figuring out what they both want in that relationship. Charlotte's on the prowl for a husband, as per usual, and had a really bad kisser most recently, and drew her lines of what was acceptable and what not. And then Samantha's, I feel like every time I'm like, Samantha's just living her life. She's, she had a problematic storyline with a black woman in the last episode.
Yeah.
But she is out there just living her life. And I
There
think that's where we are.
That is true. Living her life. So there is that scenario. We do have Aiden in the picture now. And yes, it gets good from here. And with that, I'm going to give you the title of this week's episode and see if you can give me a prediction of things to come. So the episode is titled, Are We Sluts?
Okay. This is terrible. I feel like I did so well in the last one.
You did do really well in the last
and
one, surprisingly well.
Oh, okay. So if Carrie, Miranda, and presumably Charlotte are in new-ish relationships, that conversation that comes up of like how many people have you dated before? What's your number? Those kinds of things, and then being maybe shamed for it and talking about whether or not that's legitimate. And they go to a club. Yeah.
Of course they go to a club, but she didn't say brunch. So just that as a note, people. She did not say brunch.
I did not say brunch.
Okay, let's jump into it. Want to sleep over? Oh, must be the third date. I really think I'd learned that from here. Like after the first date, second date, like third date is the sleeping together date. Which I'm like, that's super fast, honestly.
That's really fast. That is so fast for me.
You do you, because I've done quicker, obviously. But like, if as a general rule, that seems really like quick.
It does.
So, what'd everybody do last night?
Nothing?
Nothing of note. I don't want to talk about it.
Why, what happened? You sleep with someone on the second date?
No, it was the third date, and it was Alexander Lemley, the investment banker that I met at the Young Art Collector show.
And what, the sex was bad?
No, it was good, except... I don't think I can say it.
Oh, get over yourself.
Come on, sweetie, what happened?
Why is Miranda just so...
Winnie...
All of us.
You know.
Came, orgasm, shot his what?
I love that Sam has to say that extra loud.
You f***ing whore! Oh.
Yeah, no, we would be fighting. If a dude said that to me at any point in time, we would be fighting.
Unless we had like discussed it previously.
Yeah. Like that's a thing, as a kink for you, that we need to like have this as a parameter.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to marry a whore.
No, what's bad is that even Charlotte is having more sex than I am.
What about Aiden?
I love that Carrie just it makes it more about her.
Yes, immediately.
Sorry about you, but guess what? I don't have sex.
Keeps asking me out,
Quit it, Carrie.
but he doesn't want to sleep with me.
Gay?
No, he's not gay.
Mother issues?
I don't know if I would have jumped to mother issues immediately.
Yes.
So if it does, we'll work it out. I'll go left. The thing is, I may never know.
Well, you better be careful. You wait too long to sleep with someone, you miss the window and become just friends.
What's wrong with being friends?
I know. It's great.
I will say, if I'm friends with you first, I'm less likely to see you as
Samantha was right.
a match. Like I put you in that box and I can't get past it.
Yeah. This is interesting because I'm usually not attracted to somebody unless I'm
You're
like friends with you.
There's this fine line. I have to get to know you because you're attracted,
Yes.
you're attitude. So, but like if the intent was that maybe there's a possibility here with us, then I can keep that in mind for a long time. But then we become two friends, and then I've actually put you in that friend spot.
What's going on up there?
Do you just want to be friends?
Oh, I love a man who communicates.
I do.
So what
He
I
does
do
that.
too.
She decides to give him the silent treatment and angrily goes off, and he's like, what's going on up there? We love a man who asks. We love anyone who asks, let's be honest. Not too much, though. Don't ask me too many times because then I'm just going to be annoyed.
Yeah, you have to like accept the answer, even if like you're maybe that's not quite right. But if you keep asking, then it feels like you're just invalidating my opinion.
Right.
I just want to try to sleep with somebody I care about.
Aww.
I really think that I could care about you.
But I also believe that you could also care about a person who you slept with within like day 4 or 5.
Yes, this is interesting because it goes back to our conversations we've had about virginity and purity.
Right.
And like waiting for marriage, which I think it can be like if you're like, I would rather wait. That's totally cool.
Which is fine. This is all about consent and your preference and your choice. And that's amazing. So like either way, it can work. I mean, there's so many things, but this does feel like an etiquette rule, like that whole like how to get your man in like so many days, whatever.
Yeah. Like, will you be seen as a slut?
Yeah.
As the episode title suggests.
My gynecologist called me today, and my test, which she just threw in for good measure, came back positive.
Yikes.
It's not terrible. There aren't any symptoms.
Ruh-roh, we got an STI. Which you know what? This is one of the episodes I actually did appreciate the way they normalize the conversation about STIs and like not being like, although it is in an episode under called Are We Sluts? But her plot line is a little different. Like you'll see as it goes, like this is not what makes her think she's a slut. But I do love like they're just like normalizing it. Like this is what happened and I got tested and now I'm getting treated and here's what it looks like. So I feel like they did a really good job in that.
You yelled out something?
During my sleep?
No. During sex.
It's interesting that Charlotte, who is Miss Etiquette, is talking about this at dinner in public.
Yes. Yes. And again, not to slut shame at all. But she does have a lot of partners. Like to me, I'm like, damn girl.
I think I think someone actually went through and tried to do a tally of how many people they slept with. And they're like, the numbers are pretty high. Not to slut shame, but like for like the amount of people that she had dated, that was a pretty big amount of numbers. Like for all of like the I want to be married and all these like etiquette things.
You gotta try. You gotta test before you buy, you know?
Right? Agreed.
What? I'm just getting started here. I'm only at the neck. Maybe you change your mind when I'm down around the elbows.
I can't tonight. I have chlamydia.
I think that's one of the more famous lines, honestly. I think people have said, like, not said it out loud, but it's just like such a line. But you're like, wait.
Oh my gosh.
It's not a big deal. It's just a sexually transmitted disease. And I might have given it to you, or you might have given it to me.
Ba-boom.
Ba-boom.
But again, the way they're just able to talk about it and communicate through it, I really do appreciate. Like, I think I remember being shocked that they were so calm about it. But now as an adult and like realizing the stigmas behind all these, I'm like, I love this.
Yeah, this is nice because it wasn't like he was like, oh, you're a slut.
Right.
She was just like, hey, maybe it was this, maybe it was this, but you need to get tested. And he was like, okay.
Yeah.
I have to go. My friend wants to see me in the bathroom. Bye. What did you want? Because...
Oh my gosh.
Are you saying I'm dirty?
Wow.
Do I need a bath? What's happening?
It's like a
You smell bad. Get in the
I
bath.
just want to say, it's
I
been
feel
a
like
minute,
we're both
hasn't
very
it?
insecure.
What are you trying to say, dude?
We both immediately went to,
Well,
what are you trying to say?
Yeah, it's been a day. What?
Are you sure this isn't just a cheap ploy to see me naked?
will you be naked?
That's the thing about baths.
Well, this is about you, so enjoy. Okay. Get going.
That's
That doesn't make us
interesting. If
friends.
somebody made me a bath and then left, I wouldn't take the bath. Mostly because I don't like baths that much.
I enjoy a good bath, but in Georgia, because it's always flipping hot,
Yeah.
it's not that great.
No. And it takes forever to like fill it up and then the water gets cold, at least in my case.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm complaining about baths. I'd be mad if somebody made me a bath and did not stay for it.
Would you want them to take a bath with you?
No, I'd just be like, well, why did you do this? You didn't ask me about it. And now I have a bath. And I guess I'll take one. I don't know.
For me, romance is if you bring me a cookie. Like, bring me that. Oh, thank you. You know how to get my heart.
All right. Well, I'll keep that in mind.
You know I love food.
It's true.
For the first time in a long time, I was nervous. Aiden and I were going to sleep together, and it was going to mean something. I was no virgin, but this was definitely virgin territory.
If you compare the men versus the women on this show, it's just literally like the standards for the women, you have to be almost perfect.
Yes.
As the men are like, yeah, you're good. You've kind of got a dad bod. Which is that conversation of like women do not care as much as you think they do. But then like the standards for women are so much higher.
Yes.
The end. So you were pretty close on, except there was no club, Anney. There was no club. I'm sorry
I should
to
have
say.
gone the other way.
There was the judgment of the numbers. There was the conversation of STIs. And then, of course, being actually called a slut. Or whore, rather.
Yes.
Which is a thing. Which is like, I don't like, this is obviously comic appeal, but most of the times when men feel that way about women or say that subconsciously, there's a whole level of issues, which may be, as they asked, mommy issues that we don't know about or pre-relationship issues. I will give you a B because you missed the club part or the brunch part.
Alas. Alas.
Alas. And now I absolutely want Chinese food. Did I have it recently? Yes. But now I want more. But I think this wasn't a problematic conversation. It was like, again, I really did. I don't think I appreciate it as much as I do now. Like that level of conversation about STDs and STIs and the fact that Steve was so supportive. He's like, the numbers are not a big deal. Like kind of that, just having that conversation. He's like, don't treat my girlfriend that way. It was super cute. And just a conversation about like what it looks to slow down and not meet expectations or meeting expectations if you want to or not. There's this whole conversation. And I did appreciate that this episode wasn't, I'm glad we got a break. Except for, they do keep having to like harp on about the level of like women and whether or not they should be seen this way. Of course, again, she comes back with like, you need to note that women aren't the only ones that was really considered sluts on this level.
Yeah, I agree. I really liked that it didn't feel very slut shamey to me, where it was more just like you adding up the numbers, and especially with Miranda and Steve, and it being, oh, okay, it's all good. We both got tested, or we did this thing, and it was just a very adult way of looking at it instead of. And it was very open and honest because I think that's really important when you're like, hey, I have this thing. I'm going to get tested. You should get tested too. It was just a really healthy way of handling that didn't feel very slut-shamey.
Right.
And I appreciated that a lot.
Right. And in future episodes, they do address it again on a steeper level of like the stigma and then the fear, like the being like, you need to do these things. But the way they normalize it once again is like, of course, they talk about taking the HIV tests and all AIDS tests. And they're like, yeah, I've done it 3 times. Like having that conversation about wanting to be healthy, knowing that they're sexually active and that is okay. Just making sure you're taking care of yourself. Again, I'm like, I really do appreciate these levels of conversation, especially during a time like, yes, let's talk about sexual liberation, women enjoying sex and being part of that community of like meeting new people and not having to be committed relationships, but being adults and making sure that we are keeping ourselves healthy and responsible. And I'm like, yeah, right on. Good on y'all. I love this. So they do that really well, I think. I say this and later I might be like, they're doing something outrageous, or making it a plot line to make it a punchline rather. So, I mean, for now, this episode was really better in the way they handled it, especially like chlamydia and talking about what it is. And I know past hosts have talked about STIs, and like this is not a shame thing. Like this is not more as uncommon as you think, and it should be something that we do talk about and look at. And yeah, I also really love seeing Aiden all the time, and I like the fact that Steve and Miranda's relationship seems healthy at this point. But this is a drama about romance, so.
Yes. I really liked that. I liked that because, and this is a very like a stereotypical generic read, but if you like were thinking about each of the characters and their personalities, I feel like you would think Miranda would not have had sex with that many people. She would have had a lot of sex, but like not that many. But I love that she wrote like Guy from the Deli, because that means she just was like attracted to this guy and didn't even remember his name. And I think that's great. Like if you're doing it consensually, safely, sanely, I love the idea that, yeah, just had sex with that guy. And
I go back to the original, like one of the past episodes where she's flirting with the sandwich dude. You know what I'm talking about? And she like walks away but he's got like, he's antagonizing her and has this sexy voice. I'm like, did she go back to him? Is that the dude at the deli?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know if y'all remember that episode. Anyway, well, Anney, you did a fairly good job. You did miss out on the brunch. The only thing they had together was the brunch episode, really, outside of some of the dinners. But I'm sure you can make it up for it the next round. We'll see. And yeah, y'all, if you are interested in being a part of this and being a part of our discussions, please let us know. I think it's coming up pretty soon. We'll probably take a pause before we do all of that. So we'll have plenty of time. It'll be probably a couple of months out. So if you are interested, send in your name, let us know, and we will go from there. Again, no need to have ever seen it, or if you're an avid lover and you're ready. We've had many people. Bridget came on. She loves this, and we had such a great conversation. Yeah, no.
Yes. And Christina, our super producer, is amazing and will facilitate all the tech side, the editing side. It's going to be a fun time. So if you're interested, please let us know. You can email us at stephaniemomstuff@iheartmedia.com. You can also email us at hello@stuffInevertoldyou.com, which is the new email address we're trying to get going. It'll all come to us. So just email away. You can find us on Twitter at @MomStuffPodcast or on Instagram and TikTok at @StuffIneverToldYou. We're also on YouTube. We have a TeePublic store, and we have a book you can get wherever you get your books. Thanks, as always, to our super producer, Christina, our executive producer, Maya, and our contributor, Joey.
Thank you.
And thanks to you for listening. Stuff I Never Told You is a production of iHeartRadio. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, you can check out the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.